This is the MTPredictor weekly market update for March 2nd. So last month of the quarter here for the first quarter 2014. And let's just take a look at the S&P. Got a lot of ground to cover today. And we'll get into some stocks, potential option candidates, some bread and butter stuff, seasonal stuff that we'll look at in a bit. So here with this red candle close, that was a close last Friday. And we were, at that level around that 1850, 1835 level, and we talked about the target here, that 1860 to 1880 level on the ES. That's what we anticipated, that they would kind of finish off, maybe some consolidation early, and then finish off the move, which they did last week. You can see that we hit the got the high there right around 1865, 1865.50 level there. So the target's been hit. If you were long, obviously from the 1751 area, you can be, I've taken profits on Friday of last week. Don't quite have strength on the STF yet. Maybe we'll get some early in the week here. If there is, and you want to continue to hold the position, you can be trailing with a trailing stop, would be probably around 1809. But the target there has been hit. You see the red sellers candle that we closed out with. We did close with sellers overcoming buyers on Friday anyway. And just check the weekly calendar, how we closed the week out on a neutral candle. So neutral candle on the weekly, and the pattern that we had on the weekly chart, if you remember, well, let's look back at the pullback here is where we were, and we knew we were in a wave 4 there, and so obviously we've gone wave 5 up right into the minimum wave 5 target. So again, an area where we could potentially correct from here. On the weekly chart, your correction would potentially be back to this wave 4 DP here. Don't have an indication on the weekly chart that sellers are overcoming buyers in terms of the weekly chart. So if we do, if we close this week with a red sellers candle, and then we might be able to set something up here to the short side with a target back down around the 1716 area. All right, but don't have that yet in terms of the weekly chart. Daily chart, we're in resistance, so we'll see how this week unfolds and how they close the week out. But don't have any indication that professionals are stepping in here and selling into this. So, but we do have an indication that sellers were overcoming buyers on Friday. So we'll see how things. But again, we're in an area where the market certainly could correct from here, both in terms of the weekly chart and the daily chart. We've got sellers overcoming buyers on Friday, just not on the weekly chart. We don't have sellers overcoming buyers on the weekly chart yet. So we'll see how this finishes out. If we want to look at the Dow quickly here, the Dow has got some catch up to do. It's taken its wave 4, that potential wave 4 resistance out, but its next major resistance is all the way up here around that 16,678, 680 level. So at least that's the area that level begins. So it's hard to say now that the ES is in resistance. The ES is the boss, so this may be as far as the Dow goes. And it may not reach that level before we get a correction. Once we get a correction out of the way, then maybe we resume the upward trend. Same with the DAX. I mean, the DAX, that you had your 5-wave pattern up here on the daily chart. We corrected right from the typical wave 5 here. We corrected back to the wave 4 DP essentially, and then began to run with to the upside with the other markets, the U.S. markets here. And you can see here's its next resistance level. And again, you have that DAX 10,000 is out there. Nice fat round number. They're probably going to seek that, or try to seek that at some point. If we get as we get closer, that will become a big attractor, I think. But maybe not before a correction. We'll see. Silver. Silver now, we remember we were rallying, gold and silver were rallying here. This is the weekly chart. Hit the 50 period moving average there. It's found resistance there. Had a little bit of selling coming in last week. And so again, the wave 5 target is still alive out there. Stops can be at 23 or 22.90, and that target of 1760 is still out there. So we'll see if this continues to hold as resistance, and eventually reach that target. If not, if this just continues higher, then you take your break-even stop, and we'll have a new trend perhaps in the upward direction, and we'll have to wait for a pullback and look to be a buyer. All right, so we'll see. The Australian dollar, US dollar here, again, we were looking at this because we had a nice 5 waves that unfolded to the upside, 5 waves to the downside here into a major support level. And so we had our nice volume coming in. The blue buyers candle here told us that buyers were overcoming sellers right in this minimum wave 5 and decision point support area, and so we anticipate a rally back to the wave 4 decision point level here. And again, it's all about just taking a small risk and looking for a larger reward. And so this just gives us an area for a low risk, high reward scenario. And you can see this is where the Aussie dollar closed there on Friday. So this could potentially be a wave 1 if we want to check and see where's the wave 2 support. It's a little further down here around that 88.60 level is the top of the potential wave 2 or B support here. So we could get some more pullback into this level, and then we'd want to see this level hold as support and then rally, maybe even a large rally of wave 3 rally off of this. All right, so we'll see how that unfolds this week if we continue to sell off into this level, and then see what we get in that level. The dollar index, this was the daily chart. There was a setup here, just about reached the 100% initial risk line before it sold off pretty hard there on Friday. In terms of the weekly chart here, still really in between major support and resistance levels, just kind of chopping back and forth in these levels. So we'll see. And then of course the area that we're looking at, if we look at the target on this, this is the area the dollar just hasn't been able to get through. Okay, we'll continue to watch that. All right, let's look at some of the stocks. So I've got some of the option candidates in the scanner here. And these are stocks you can look to be a buyer of, or use options if you wish. There's nothing sexy on this list. These are pretty much bread and butter companies, but these are stocks that have risen from about the 7th of March, 11th of March. Some of these are at the end of March, when they usually begin to rally, into April and May. And they've done so historically this time of year every year for the last 10 to 13 years in most of these cases. So if we want to just take a look at some of them, I think I've already got some of the charts set up here. So this is ADS. That's Alliance Data Systems, and you can see obviously it's had a huge run already. This is going back to 2009, and you can see, well, here was March. If we go back here, right at the low here in this decision point was the March seasonal buying that comes in March. That was of 2009. And then if we look at March 2010 was right here, had a nice rally into May. Again, this is a monthly chart, so it doesn't look like much here, but these are monthly candles. And then let's see, March 2011 is right here. And you can see, well, of course, it had a huge rally all summer, into the winter before it found really any resistance here. And now we're going to be heading into March. So a lot of these we're going to look for look for some type of pullback um, in a lot of these because they need to pull back some. But the start date on this one will be March 14th, so obviously we're not there yet. So that's one you can buy on that date, or like I said, you want to look for some type of pullback first, be a buyer in a support area. Let's see, Boeing is another one. Now this one did begin to correct. We had some resistance here and has corrected or pulled back into a potential wave 4 here. And this one, Boeing, usually around March 12th starts that window where it tends to rise. If we go back to March of 2013 here, you can see into May, nice rally there. Again, now this is the weekly chart. There's March here. March. This one didn't do a whole lot in 2012, but you see it did get that last push here into May, where the high was there before it pulled back. But you'll see every year, if we go back, okay, March 2010 here, nice rally into April, right? And you can again go back. March, right where the DP was here, the buy signal here, nice rally all the way into May. So that's what we're just trying to take advantage of, is this seasonal tendency for these stocks. All right, let's look at the next one. HSY, it's Hershey's. Hershey's, again, look at the run it's had, but it still has that seasonal tendency. Let's go back to March of 2013. Right in here, and then the nice rally into April. Let's go back. Where's March of 2011 here? Again, nice rally into April. March right here, again, nice rally all the way into July if you want to extend that one. All right, so the same thing over the last 10 years for Hershey's. Again, probably going to wait for some type of pullback. That one doesn't start till March 11th. And then Beam. Now Beam's an interesting one here. There's a last buy signal here in 2013. Hit that target and then exploded there. But this is another one. In fact, let's see. Let's look at March. Right here, March of 2013. Nice run there into April and May. March of 2012. Again, nice rally all the way into the summer there. March of 2010, right in here, nice rally again into April. So it's just that seasonal tendency that we're looking for. That's Allstate. Let's see what this is, the weekly chart here. Again, this one starts, it'll be around, what is this, March 21st. So giving you plenty of time to do your homework on these. But same situation, tends to rally March into April and May. This is SNA, which is Snap-on, the tool company. It's in resistance here now, so best to wait for a pullback. But again, this is one that likes to rally. You can see here was March. There was a nice buy signal here that the software gave all the way into April and there. And then RSG. This one just completed a 5-wave pattern down here. It's taken out the decision point in wave 4, so the tendency is that they're going to erase this whole 5-wave pattern. So this is the next target here for this one. And let's see, RSG, that's Republic Services, and over the last 11, 12 years now, it has been on the plus side, going all the way back to 2002. During this one starts March 19th, heads through April 22nd. And then finally AVP. This is another interesting one. You can see we've got kind of a triple bottom here. This is where the DP buy was here, and that was right at March of 2009, and you can see the move out of there. Let's see, where was here's well, March of 2012 was this big gap. So it had a big gap up there into April. And so here we are heading into March in this level. In fact, if you want to go back even further here, all the way back to 97, 99, these levels have held as support. And again, this tends to rally. This one, March 19th to, AVP, that's going to be Avon, and that's dates on that March 11th through April 4th. So again, these are just some option candidates or some stock candidates. Nothing sexy, just seasonal tendencies. These stocks tend to move during this March, April, May time frame, and so might be something worth doing a little homework on. Some nice potential seasonal plays there. So, all right, we'll leave it there. We'll revisit these as these windows, again, starting in most of these in mid-March. So give you plenty of time to take a look at these. And full economic calendar this week, so we should get some good action intraday, and we'll see how these stock markets finish out and how the gold and silver, if they resume that downtrend at this point, or if they're going to break back up to the upside. So we'll see what they do, and we'll be back next week and do it all again. Take care. Have a great rest of your trading week.